Today we will be covering the biggest trading opportunities right now. We'll be looking at how to use fixed odds trading for maximum profits. We'll also be covering live market analysis, identifying high probability trade setups on the commodities, and of course we'll be answering any questions during today's session. We'll do a very quick check now, just make sure everybody can hear me loud and clear, and you can also see the presentation. Okay, fantastic. Okay, good. Right, so today we'll be covering, of course, the major commodity markets. We'll be looking at gold, silver, palladium, and platinum, and on the energies, we'll be looking at crude oil. So we'll be identifying setups on these markets and going through technical analysis. So just before we get started, for those of you who are new to the Commodities Corner, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is an international commodities trading research and advisory group. We specialize in the precious metals, the energies, the agricultural markets, and we are recognized as the leading go-to authority on commodities. As internationally respected experts, our analysis, our opinions on the metals, the energies, the agricultural markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, including Bloomberg, Reuters, CNN, Global Banking and Finance Review, and the Wall Street Journal, to name a few. Our team of experts has advised and taught technical analysis, fundamental research, and portfolio management to more than 75,000 private and institutional traders worldwide. For more information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please do go ahead and visit www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. Okay, so that's just a bit of background on the Gold and Silver Club. So what we'll do, we'll take a look at the price of gold at the moment. Gold looking very interesting. We're currently trading at 1,178 US dollars per ounce. We've seen a bit of a pop to the upside so far during the London session today. So we'll take a look at that and what we can expect as we head into the US session this afternoon as well. Before we do so, we'll look at the top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies, which have been as follows. So first of all, we've had a lovely sell short opportunity this week. In the earlier part of the week, on a lot of the precious metals, we had a sell short from an entry of 689 US dollars per ounce on palladium for a full trade for the price to be lower, which broke down nicely over the course of this week. We've also had a good opportunity on oil after we broke through a major trend line this week. We've gone in for a sell short on a break of that level. We've also had a nice close below the weekly lows, so we've taken advantage of this to the downside, entering at 48.40. Again, just a very straightforward full trade for the price to be lower. We've also had a good opportunity just to trade gold within its trend channels. Nice sell short opportunity again from 11.72 as we've taken advantage of the breakdown in price back down towards the lower end of the trend channel on the tighter time frame. So there's been some nice day trade opportunities this week. We've got some good setups as we start to head into the US session this afternoon, which we'll take a look at with you. So we will be looking at the higher and lower types of trades on binary.com. Very simply, if you select higher, you win the payout if the market exit price is strictly higher than the entry price, and if you select lower, you win the payout if the market exit price is strictly lower than the entry price. Now, the price only needs to close 1 point higher or lower in your direction over the specified time frame in order for you to win the entire payout for this trade. Okay, so it's a great way to take advantage of volatile markets. It's also a great way that you can just have trades on set and forget without really needing to manage them too heavily over the course of the time frame. You just put it on and it's set and forget, and that is perfect for the way we can trade binary options. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll move over and have a look at the technicals. So what we'll just move over and share my screens on the commodities. We'll go through some of the technical setups which are starting to line up just as we head into the US session, and we'll go through how we will implement those on binary.com as well. So first of all, let me just share my screen. You should be able to see it shortly. Okay, so let's have a look here. We'll bring out the screen to my right, so you should get that very shortly. Okay, perfect. Now, if there are any questions or comments, do feel free to put those into the chat, okay? You can put those into the chat function or the Q&A area, and we'll definitely cover those during the session. Okay, perfect. So just a quick check. Everybody can see my screen. Okay, you can see we're currently on the US dollar index. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, good. Right. So first point we want to note, the US dollar index, the inverse correlation that we get with a lot of the precious metals. And what we saw yesterday was a very big pop to the upside for the US dollar. So on the larger time frames, you can see here where we got a very clear rejection again last week. So although we broke down at the beginning of last week, we closed by the end of the week back within this key support zone. So if you have a look at the US dollar, I'm just on the weekly chart at the moment, you have a look at the overall price structure. What you'll want to note here is you've got very clear support sitting around the 93 to 94 zone. You can see this whole area, each time we've come down and tested that over the summer months and into autumn here as well, we've had strong rejections. By the close of the week, although during the course of the week we've seen a breakdown in price, we've ultimately closed back within this support zone. So I'll just make this a little bit clearer for you. Here we go. So you've got very clear support on the US dollar. And we've taken advantage of this just through breakout trades over the last couple of days. It's been an immense move on the US dollar. You've also got overhead resistance here as well. So you can see where we've got very clear resistance around the 96 to 97 zone. This will be a key zone for the US dollar to breach over the next couple of months if we really start to see momentum pick up to the upside. So we're definitely ranging at the moment with the US dollar, but it's been a nice pop to the upside here. You can also draw on, just to build into this overall price structure, you can draw on a pennant here. So you can see where we've got a nice overhead pennant formation where the price is getting tighter and tighter with the US dollar, and we're getting closer for a potential resolution. So we've been ranging here for a lot of 2015, but you've got very clear support and very clear resistance. Now, pennant formation is where you start to see high lows in the market, but you get lower highs as well as the price gets tighter and tighter and eventually breaks out. So you can see we're getting close to a potential breakout and a resolution here. So what does this mean if we were to get a breakout to the upside? If the US dollar breaks out above 97, if it closes above that level and builds up momentum, what that would potentially signal is weakness on a lot of the commodities as we head into November, and particularly for the rest of October as well as we head into next week. So it can often signal weakness on those markets. So it's worth having a look at that for the inverse correlation, the US dollar to a lot of the commodities. Now, what we're seeing at the moment, if we have a look at the daily chart, it's worth noting we've had a good pop to the upside yesterday. So yesterday's move was incredible. We had a really nice breakout trade on this, which we caught. And you can see if you have a look at the other currency markets, the inverse correlation, the big pop to the upside of the US dollar caused markets, for example, like Euro USD to sell off significantly, which are priced against the US dollar. So it's affected a lot of different markets here. So this move to the upside in the US dollar has been very powerful. Now, what I'm looking at today is whether we'll get follow through, whether we'll break above resistance. And if we do, that will cause some weakness in the metals. But if the US dollar pulls back from this zone, it's come all the way up to this upper trend line. If it pulls back from this area and starts to sell off, that will then give some support to a lot of the metals. So it's worth keeping that in mind. So you want to watch the US dollar and what that is doing. So if we move over and have a look at some of the metals here, I do quite like this overall price structure of platinum. In fact, that's going to be the first trade which I'm looking to take right now, and I'll put on my specific order I'm looking to take on this as well. So you can see platinum is having a bit of a hard time with resistance. Now, platinum has done really well over the last 2 to 3 weeks here to break out to the upside, but it's very clearly come up to a very key resistance zone overhead. It's having trouble with that zone. We broke down on Wednesday. We had a nice bearish close there. A little pop to the upside yesterday. Today's move to the upside is very quickly being sold into. We can see where we're struggling around this zone. I would be looking to get into this just over a swing trade to be in and out of this by Wednesday next week, just allowing the price structure to break down. Actually, probably what we'll do, we get out of it by Tuesday next week. The reason being is that we have the FOMC statement next Wednesday, which will be trading live with all of our traders at the Gold and Silver Club. So if you don't have that in the diary, it's time to just pop that in the diary. Next Wednesday is the FOMC statement. It only happens 8 times a year. It's a very profitable trading opportunity. It's at 7 o'clock London time is when the FOMC announcement is delivered. So have that in your diary if you don't already have it in there, because that will be a very big mover for the markets and a lucrative trading opportunity. So let me talk you through what I'm going to do here with platinum, because I'm going to take a trade on platinum. I'm just going to go over to the metals. We'll select, I'll bring this over to your screen in a second to just get the best prices here. See what we can do. Okay, we want to be out of that by Tuesday next week, Tuesday the 27th of October. Okay, good. Right, so you should be able to see that on my screen. So all this is I've gone across to start trading commodities up and down. It's a rise and fall trade. I've selected the market as platinum. The payout there, $3,000 for a $1,587 deposit there. Okay, so just to do a quick refresh on that. You can see spot price at the moment currently $1,015.65 per ounce. So I'm looking to take this for a lower trade over the next 4 days to be out of this by the Tuesday close. Looking to take advantage of strength in the US dollar, weakness in the metals, and I want good follow through between now and Tuesday. Gives the trade some time to work out, but you can see we've got very strong overhead resistance. Platinum is very overbought at the moment because we've had the biggest move over the last 2 weeks. It's the biggest move that we've seen in platinum in 2 years. So we are due a retrace or at least a pullback and some profit taking, particularly if we get a strong dollar. So I'm going to take this trade, just again do a quick refresh. I'm going to purchase this for the price to be lower than the current price. 89% payout, very good. $1,587 deposit for a $3,000 payout. Okay, so purchase that contract. Beautiful, so that has been done. So I've gone for a sell short now on platinum. I like this for a sell short. Let's just put our entry on here. It's where I've just entered into this trade, just 1,000 and it's about 1,013. This is where we got into the trade on my charts. Okay, so we're looking to be out of that trade by the Tuesday close with the price 1 point lower than that entry, and we'll win the entire payout. Excellent. Right, moving over to palladium. Now, palladium is the next market you want to have a look at as well. So palladium is just ranging at the moment on the tighter time frames. You can see this very clearly. So again, I'm looking for confluence here with palladium as well. And ultimately, you can see we're already getting a rejection candle towards the upper end of this trend channel, particularly if we get strength with the US dollar again this afternoon. I'm also looking for weakness in palladium and looking for a rotation back towards the lower end of the trend channel. So that's going to be key here, looking for a nice move back towards the lower end of the trend channel, and that could be a nice selling opportunity. I would wait a little bit further for a bit more confirmation on palladium at the moment that we are going to fully form a rejection candle around the upper end of the trend channel, but I would suggest palladium. Platinum is leading at the moment, so I prefer the platinum trade, but palladium is looking good potentially for a sell short as well. So do keep an eye on platinum too. Now moving over to the oils. Then the oils are looking interesting at the moment, still consolidating right now. We can have a look at the daily chart just for light sweet crude oil, where we broke through the trend channel earlier on this week. Just took a quick day trade there for a sell short, and we're just hovering around support. Now, what you want to note on oil at the moment is all this cluster of support just to the left of the chart. Okay, you've got all of this support on the left, which really we need to break and close below that in order to build momentum to the downside here for oil. Until we do that, we're just going to be stuck range bound, and we might see just rotations up and down just within this trend channel. So you might see just a retest of the lower end of this zone. If that gets supported, we'll see a rotation back up again, and we could continue to rotate within this zone. Now, the other key point is if we break and close below support, so if we break below support and we close below it, that's where you want to get interested in a potential sell short, and it will just be a dead cat bounce, and we'll see this whole move break back down again. So definitely oil is one to watch. We don't have confirmation on oil just yet. Might well get that later on in the session today or as we head into next week. Look at Brent crude oil, very similar situation. We took a breakdown of this trend channel. We're now coming into major support. So again, I would be careful about going short or long here until we get confirmation. We're looking for either rejection of this zone around 47 US dollars. If we get a bounce off that zone, we can go for a rotation higher. So we're looking for a buying opportunity to rotate back towards the upper end of this channel. So watch this for rejection. If we close below 47, then we're looking for a sell short as well here on Brent. That will be the critical level, a close below 47, and we'll start heading much lower here for Brent crude oil, and I would also expect that to be a dead cat bounce. So I would keep an eye on oil. We don't have that confirmation yet, and it's still stuck very range bound at the moment. We need the confirmation in order to pick the direction. Once we pick a direction, oil will really start to get going again. And do note as well, the rally that we had a couple of weeks ago on oil's given back all of those gains. So the big move, we had a huge move, break out to 5-week highs, but oil has now given back all of those gains, and it's coming back towards the lower end of its trend channel. So you do want to just watch out for that. There is going to be an opportunity opportunity here once we get to that event area, either to buy if we get rejected at the support zone or to sell if we break and close below it. So do keep an eye on oil there too. Now, moving over to gold and silver, they've just had a little bit of a pop to the upside over the last hour or so. We've seen a bit of a rally and a bit of a pop to the upside. So what we're keeping an eye on here is the higher time frames, just to see how we are going to close the week here. It's very important to see whether, especially if we go over to the weekly chart here, you can see at the moment where we've got a rejection candle forming on the weekly. We want to see how this is going to close out the week. Now, it's early days. We're not even into the US session at the moment. We want to see whether we're just going to form another rejection candle and sell off again here with gold, in which case we could be due a nice V-shaped reversal pattern back down towards the lower end of the trend line here. Or if we get a pop above this, actually we can draw on trend lines here. Potentially what we're looking at here is a bull flag formation, which is where you've got a market which is rallying and then pulls back in the short term here, and then just pops back up again. So this close here is important. This is what a bull flag looks like, okay? So it's when a market is rallying and then it will just pull back. So it looks like a flag. Okay, so you can see that overall price structure, and then what will happen is you'll just break the upper end of the flag, and then it'll just be a continuation pattern, and the market will keep rallying. So we're almost there with oil. It's already breaking, with gold, it's breaking the upper end of this potential bull flag formation, but it needs to close above it in order to be confirmed. It could just be a move to the upside and then very quickly retrace and sell off, and then you want to be going short gold. So we're still monitoring that as we come into the US session. Similar price structure also with silver. Silver is just consolidating at the moment. It's done well, actually. It's back above $16 per ounce. Had a significant breakout to the upside last week. We can see here where previous resistance is turning into support around the 1550 zone. But at the moment, I would certainly be just keeping an eye on key resistance just overhead as well. If we do get a break above key resistance here, particularly above the 1620 zone, this is where we could really start to build up some momentum. So I would be looking for a close. If we can break and close above that zone, that is where we'll start to pick up momentum to the upside. So do keep an eye on that for silver. Two key zones. Either we break and close above 1621, looking to go long, or if we break and close below 1550, looking to sell. But until we get a resolution, I would just sit on the sidelines with silver until we get confirmation. And again, we've got FOMC statement next Wednesday. That could really be the game changer. We could really see some big moves here for the precious metals. I would be definitely making myself available, or we will certainly be trading that live at the Gold and Silver Club. But if you've not seen the FOMC statement before, you would definitely be wise to keep an eye on the charts and the price movement across that statement. So next Wednesday at 7 p.m. London time. Okay, guys, that's what you want to keep an eye on. So just a quick update again there we go. Platinum moving really nicely already this trade's coming to profit. We've taken platinum for a sell short. So platinum is the key trade that we're going in for today, waiting for a bit more confirmation on gold and silver later on this afternoon, but platinum I see as leading the metals potentially here with a rotation lower. So I like this for a sell at the moment. Okay, super. I don't think there are any additional questions or comments at the moment. So what I'll do, I'll just bring it back to the main presentation here. Okay, so you should all be able to see the presentation. Yep, fantastic, excellent. Right, so if you enjoyed today's technical analysis, there is an opportunity for you to get more daily commodities analysis and live trading ideas ready to implement on binary.com. We have an opportunity for you to join the Gold and Silver Club Private Traders Club. With the Private Traders Club, you get access to Master the Markets training course, daily commodities trading ideas, bi-weekly technical analysis videos, the inside track, as well as the week ahead trading plan. So let me just explain a little bit more detail. We get a lot of questions on this, what exactly it involves, which is very thorough indeed. So the Master the Markets training course, this essentially goes through everything that you need to become a successful trader. It's a full-on commodities training course designed for beginners to advanced traders. It covers everything from the technicals, the fundamentals, goes through seasonality, our strategies for news trading, long-term trading, day trading. We go through the indicators we use at the Gold and Silver Club. It's very in-depth training and really gives you all the theory and the background behind how we trade the commodity markets. Gives you all that understanding to successfully trade Commodities. Now, as well as that, we also provide the implementation, okay? So that is where you've got the daily commodity trading ideas. Once you've done the Master the Markets course and you've understood the theory, you then want to move over to doing the trade ideas and the trade setups and the implementation of those. So it gives you more background, it goes through the analysis and the specific entries, the exit points, the take profit levels that we look at for trading the commodities. A lot of the hard work is already done for you. You also get the bi-weekly technical analysis videos, which is very important. So on those sessions, we give you a lot deeper insight into where we get our trade signals from, what we're utilizing to analyze the markets, what we're taking into account for our specific setups, which really, again, compounds your knowledge at a much deeper level so you understand the thinking behind the trade setups. And finally, the inside track, the week ahead well plan, is gold dust, in my opinion, sets you up for the week ahead. We go through all the key setups that we're looking at for the week ahead. You can study this over the weekend and really sets you up really nicely with your set and forget trades for the following week. So you've got the theory behind the trade ideas, you've also got all the analysis, you've got the daily trade ideas, you've got access to the bi-weekly technical analysis videos, and the week ahead well plans, everything you need really to become a successful commodities trader. So if you would like to find out more, it is by application only to join the Private Traders Club. All it is, it's very simple to apply. It's just via www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. So I'll just put that into the chat there for you just to make it super easy. Okay, fantastic. So if you would like to apply to become a member of the Private Traders Club, you can do that just via application only, and we'll get in touch with you ASAP. Okay, fantastic. I don't think there's any more questions or comments at the moment, so thank you all. You've been a great audience. We'll definitely see you on the next one. Okay, take care, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.